for this final lesson on matrix multiplication, we're going to look at the identity matrix. And the identity matrix is kind of boring, if you will, when you're talking about multiplication, but it's going to be really helpful when we go about trying to find the inverse and also for certain methods of solving systems of equations. So first thing we need to talk about is what is an identity matrix. When we talk about identities in algebra, typically we talk about the multiplicative identity, which is multiplying anything by 1, or the additive identity we already talked about was when you add 0. So with matrices, it's very similar. This is just again, this only works for square matrices. So this is a square matrix in which the principal diagonal is all ones. So there's that one part coming in. And all other elements are 0. So if we have a 2 by 2 identity matrix, it's going to look like 1, 0, 0, 1. If we have a 3 by 3 matrix, it's going to be 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1. And you start to sound like a computer with all the zeros and ones. But that's essentially what it is. And the nice thing about the identity matrix is that it does work that if you multiply it in either order here, a times I and I times a, you will get back to a. So just to kind of show you, a times I in this case, we got -4, -3, 1, 0. If we multiply that by 1, 0, 0, 1, then again we take the first row, first column, you end up with -4 times 1 plus -3 times 0, and then you end up with -4 times 0 plus -3 times 1, so you can kind of see how you're getting your terms back here. Similarly, second row you get 1 times 1 and 0 times 0, and finally you get 1 times 0 and 0 times 1. So when all is said and done, you've got your -4 plus 0, you've got your 0 plus -3, you've got your 1 plus 0, and you've got your 0 plus 0. So we get back to the original A. So last things here, if you were to do it in the opposite direction, if you were to take 1, 0, 0, 1 and multiply it by our matrix A, you would go through and find that you end up with the same thing, the -4, -3, 1, 0. So this concludes the lesson on multiplication of matrices. The next lesson is going to talk about inverses, which are really helpful in solving systems of equations.